You ever have one of those days where reality just falls apart right in front of you and nothing, absolutely nothing, ever goes back to the way it was? Yeah, that happened in Courtroom 7, Detroit, a Tuesday in October. The air smelled like burnt leaves and fear. The judge, Rebecca Williams, this legend, Iron Lady of Michigan law, sat behind her bench, cool as ever. And then this little boy, Elijah Washington, barely 8, stands up, points right at her, voice shaking but somehow clear as a church bell, and says, "You're my real mother. I remember your perfume. I remember your lullabies." You could hear people's hearts stop. I mean, let me back up a sesame gene this. Rebecca, a woman who'd built her life on control, justice, law, rising from nothing to become the backbone of family court in Detroit, sitting there thinking she's seen it all. But that day, the script flipped. Elijah, who'd bounced through foster homes more times than he'd had birthdays, who'd lived with the Henderson's, a nice enough white couple from the suburbs, trying their best, but always outsiders to his world, was supposed to be another routine case. Problem child, so they said, too intense, too smart, never quite at home, always drawing pictures of courtrooms and judges, spitting out legal words most grown-ups couldn't spell. Nobody listened when he said his real mom was alive and searching for him. They wrote it off as trauma, wishful thinking. But the judge, she couldn't shake this feeling something about Elijah. The way he studied her, the crescent moon birthmark on his wrist, the way he moved his left hand when he was thinking. She'd seen 1,000 kids, but never one who looked right through her. And the moment Elijah spoke up in open court, chaos just erupted. Lawyers shouting, bailiffs freezing, the Hendersons reaching out, desperate and confused. And Rebecca? She just stared, numb, the past clawing its way into the present, until she banged her gavel and called a recess, her whole body trembling as she clutched a hidden photograph, a baby boy with those same haunting eyes and that crescent scar, a secret she'd locked away for 15 years. Now, Rebecca wasn't born with a silver spoon. She was raised on Detroit's East Side, the daughter and granddaughter of black legal pioneers, and when she got pregnant at 27, it was a scandal. Her family lawyer, Robert Sterling, remember that name, arranged a private, clean adoption. It was supposed to be a closed chapter, her son gone to a better life, no second chances. But that moment in the hospital, holding him for just 2 hours, changed her forever. She named him Daniel in her heart, and then she lost him. You know what I mean? Some wounds just don't close. After Elijah's outburst, Rebecca calls her trusted investigator, David Knox. "Find everything about Elijah Washington," she whispers, voice barely holding together. At the same time, Elijah gets moved to Child Protective Services for evaluation. He keeps telling anyone who'll listen about his mother, a judge, the lavender and vanilla perfume, the lullabies about mockingbirds. He remembers her private bathroom, her coffee shop ritual, details no one ever told him. Foster homes had tried to break him. One family locked him in the basement for talking about his mother. Another made him sleep in the garage, all because he refused to forget where he came from. As Knox digs deeper, the story goes from bad to rotten. Turns out, Sterling Family Services, the agency that placed Rebecca's baby, was a front. Records purged, adoptions never finalized, kids shuffled through the system under fake names, never truly adopted, some never seen again. Rebecca's own mother paid big money to make sure the trail went cold. And all the while, Sterling's racket thrived, protected by corrupt officials, judges, social workers. Even certain foster parents paid to traumatize the kids into forgetting who they were. This was bigger than one lost boy. This was a machine, and Elijah was just one of hundreds chewed up and left behind. Here's the twist: while Knox and Rebecca piece together the horror, Elijah is placed with Patricia, a retired teacher and longtime foster mom who starts to believe his memories are real. The detail, the consistency: this kid isn't fantasizing, he's remembering. When Rebecca finally risks everything to meet Elijah outside the official system, their reunion is raw tears, memories, the overwhelming recognition that against all odds, mother and son found each other again. But their happiness lasts barely a heartbeat. That night, men claiming to be federal agents break into Patricia's house, beat her, and kidnap Elijah. A warning: stop digging or lose him forever. Now it's erase Rebecca, Knox, and an unlikely alliance of others who've lost children to the system. Judge Phillips, Detective Santos. They track Elijah to the Riverside Youth Center, a facility on the surface, but really a warehouse for children the system wants erased. They find him in a cell, but they find dozens of other kids, 2 kids locked in cages, children experimented on, their memories and hopes systematically crushed. Sterling's criminal empire is laid bare: trafficking, blackmail, a whole city's worth of secrets kept with threats and violence. In the heat of a midnight raid, Rebecca faces the impossible: escape with Elijah and save her son, or risk everything to free every child trapped in that hell. Elijah, brave beyond his years, tells her to save them all. And in a desperate, high-stakes showdown Levestre to the world, Rebecca and her allies expose the horror to millions. Sterling is arrested, his network shattered, but not before he tries one last time to smear Rebecca, spinning lies in court, using truth twisted into poison. The final act plays out in the same courtroom where it all began. Rebecca, now the defendant, faces not just Sterling, but a nation-divided hero or criminal, savior or lawbreaker. The case is brutal, the evidence a tangle of truth and fabrication. But it's Elijah who stands up, voice steady, and tells the world the real story. Mothers don't stop loving their children, not for anything. His testimony breaks the jury's heart. After weeks of battle, Rebecca is acquitted not just by law, but in the eyes of everyone who watched her risk everything for the truth. Months later, Rebecca is no longer a judge, but she's a mother, an advocate, a leader. Sterling's in prison for life. Over 300 children are rescued. Families are reunited. The system is forced to change. Elijah thrives, healing slowly but surely, determined to help others who've suffered like him. And every morning, Rebecca and Elijah walk together past the garden where they first learned that even the harshest ground can grow something beautiful. Now, you tell me if it were your child, or if you had the power to tear down a system built on hurting the innocent, would you risk it all? Would you break the law to do what's right, or trust the system to fix itself? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, this is the kind of story that deserves to be argued, remembered, and acted upon. If you believe families are worth fighting for, share this story. If you believe real justice sometimes means breaking the rules, say your piece. Because at the end of the day, the only thing stronger than fear, corruption, or the law itself is love.